if you're a loyal listener to our show, you are well aware of our buddy Sully.
Yes.
Frequent caller from Boston, Sully, who is our unofficial NHL hockey correspondent.
And body man.
Yes. Now, Sully and I have a good friend who is an actual NHL expert. Sully's very good at NHL.
Yes.
But my friend Nate Thompson, who's a longtime NHL player, has had an illustrious career, says to me, why do you keep listening to Sully on hockey when you have access to an actual player who's an expert? So I'm so happy to bring aboard my friend Nate Thompson. Nate, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is fun. I'm happy to be here.
I just want to let people know, if you want to watch the show, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio is where you do it. And if you ever had a question about what Nate may do for a living, you're going to know as soon as he smiles at you, because that front tooth is just straight up missing, my friend. I love the look.
Yeah, I'm keeping it real today for both of you. I didn't want to keep it classy. I wanted to make sure that you guys knew exactly what I did for you.
I love it. I think it's great. Let's talk a little hockey, though, because let's do that hockey. Let's talk about the Stanley Cup final. I'm pretty shocked, not so much that the Panthers are down 0-2 to Vegas, but I'm a little shocked that they've lost their composure, or appear to have. Taking bad penalties, Nate, how do you explain this, and can they clean it up before Game 3 tonight?
Well, I think for Florida, this is how they've gotten here. They've played that get under the other team's skin. They did it with Boston. They did it with Toronto. They did it with Carolina. And now they're running into a Vegas team who is extremely disciplined, had the least amount of minor penalties all season. And they're just not falling for it. And so Florida, they have to change their ways a little bit. They have to find that fine line between, playing with an edge and being smart about it, because the first two games, Vegas kind of, just took them to the cleaners, really. Yep. I mean, they just turned their head. They didn't talk, they didn't talk any trash to them. They just went back to the bench and just went about their business next shift. So, Florida's going to have to make that adjustment tonight for sure.
So the first two games have not been much of a challenge for Vegas. And I always ask you these questions. How does hockey work? So is it possible that Florida just turns it around on a dime within a series? Have you been in a series where it really seems like it's going one way after two games and then there's a 180-degree change? Because it seems to me, like I've seen some of the numbers, it's a tall task for Florida to get back into it.
Yeah, it's tough. And their backs are against the wall right now. I have been in a situation like this before. When I was playing in Anaheim, we actually lost the first two games at home going back to Edmonton. And we were down 0-2 going to Edmonton, and we ended up winning the next two games there in Edmonton, won Game 5 at home, and then we ended up winning in 7. So it can be done. It's just that old cliche, you have to win tonight, and that's all they have to worry about. So I do think that if they win tonight, they can completely change the series. I think going home, having the last change, Bobrovsky can kind of reset, play his game, and I think they can win tonight. I mean, it really is. I mean, with Stanley Cup playoffs and Stanley Cup finals, there's so many ebbs and flows of the series. And if Florida plays their game tonight and they're disciplined and they play the way they've played the previous three series, I think they can win.
We're talking with Nate Thompson. It's a pretty good statistical probability that he played for one of your favorite hockey teams. Nate has been all around the NHL. You want to watch us right now, youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio. You mentioned Bobrovsky. I mean, listen, it's been rough for him in the first two games of this series. What is it, 12 combined goals in games 1 and 2? I mean, as a fellow player, you weren't a goalie, obviously, but do you talk to him? Do you leave him alone? He obviously knows things need to change. What's the approach as a teammate? Do you acknowledge how bad it's been, or do you not?
You leave goalies alone. Goalies are weird. And that's always been the case, is goalies are extremely weird. You let them be. You let them do their thing and just have them worry about stopping the puck. I think for Bobrovsky, you've seen he's been around a long time. He's an elite goaltender. He's been playing playoff MVP type of game right now, and he's probably going to just reset, come back, play his game, and I assume he's going to play a very good game tonight. That is my prediction. I think he's going to be really good, and I think Florida has to be better defensively too. I don't think it's all on Bob. I think yeah, he probably could make some better saves, but I think at the same time, Florida wasn't that tight defensively. And, Bob, unfortunately, was, he was the one that took he took the brunt of it. So, we'll see how he responds tonight.
Talking to NHL player Nate Thompson. Now, Nate, you've played in big markets, obviously LA Kings. You played for the Islanders. You played in small ones, most recently Winnipeg. We were talking before the show about who's it more important to? Connor McDavid himself, is there a lot of pressure on him to advance to a Stanley Cup final and maybe win a Stanley Cup, or the NHL as a whole? Do they need, Vegas and Florida are not bigger markets necessarily. Do they need a singular star? And is that going to happen with Connor McDavid, where he's going to sort of step into that, for lack of a better term, a Wayne Gretzky or a Sidney Crosby or a Mario Lemieux role, where he can be the face of the sport and win a title?
Yeah, I believe that Connor he is the face of our sport right now. The things that he did this season haven't been done in 30 years. And the game is completely different, and he's doing it at this level and at this, in this era. It's mind-boggling. And to me, and I know I'm biased, I think he is one of the best athletes in the world. And obviously having him in the Stanley Cup finals would be huge for our sport, would be huge to market him and let everybody know, hey, everybody look at Connor McDavid. He is Wayne Gretzky like, he's Mario Lemieux like. But at the same time, you have two non-traditional hockey markets with Vegas and Florida, and you're seeing these Southern teams kind of take the next step. And you're seeing not only that, but you're seeing the sport of hockey really grow in those places, in those southern belt states. So I really do think it's kind of a win-win. You have Connor in the finals, which is great for the sport, great for him, great for marketing. And then you have two non-traditional markets, which is good for hockey as a whole.
Nate Thompson is our guest. If you want to watch youtube.com/CBS Sports Radio, you'll know he's a hockey player because he's missing his front tooth. And I do appreciate, because I'm sure you've got like a false one, Nate, that you could put in there. But I appreciate you being true, authentic self for your first interview ever on the Maggie and Perloff show. So, I mean, you look back on your career. Let's just get into that for a moment.
Yep.
You played in all these different stops, as Perloff said. You've had this incredible career. Is there one, like, if I were to ask you for our audience, like, sum up like what you thought is your best hockey memory, what is it?
Ooh, Maggie, that's a really hard.
Okay, well, the reason why I'm
question.
asking you is because I heard that you've got a big Hall of Fame induction coming.
Yeah, wait, can I just say,
yeah,
that you might not know, you're talking to a Hall of Famer right now, not Perloff, but Maggie was recently inducted to the Binghamton Sports Hall of Fame.
Hold for applause.
And I was bragging, you were recently found out you're going to be inducted into the Alaska Sports Hall of Fame.
Yes. Well, another fellow Hall of Famer. Congratulations, Maggie.
Yes, I forgot my jacket today. I didn't wear the gold jacket. I didn't want to intimidate anybody. But congratulations. What a huge honor. Obviously, much bigger than my smaller hometown. The Alaska Hall of Fame is huge. And if you need any help, or if you want to prep or workshop some things here on the show, going over some memories could be a good way to get ready for your big speech.
Yeah, no, it is. And to answer your question, that's hard, because I was so lucky and blessed to have such a long career, and I've had so many great memories, hockey memories. I mean, the first thing comes to my mind is obviously scoring my first NHL goal at Madison Square Garden on Henrik Lundqvist, shorthanded. I mean, it was an amazing feeling. Yeah, it was awesome. Great first goal. And then to name another, a couple other ones, I think my biggest other playoff memory or hockey memories would be probably playing in the playoffs. The one that stands out to me probably is playing in the conference finals against the Chicago Blackhawks. I think it was game 1. I had a goal and assist, and just, I think that was probably the best hockey I played over the course of my career, was in that time frame, in that playoffs. And it was just, it was a lot of fun. It was a great time. So those two memories kind of stick out to me the most.
Nate, it's funny. I'm looking at a list of inductees in the Alaska Sports Hall of Fame, and there's a lot of names we know on here. Carlos Boozer, the basketball player, I guess Mario Chalmers. There's not a lot of hockey guys on here. Are you aware? I know there's obviously so many Canadian hockey players. Who are the great Alaskan hockey players? Will you be the first hockey player inducted?
No. There's Scott Gomez, who
sure,
probably the best.
We've heard of
probably
him.
the best. He's the best Alaska hockey player to come out of Alaska for sure. He won 2 Stanley Cups, won Rookie of the Year. I mean, he had a illustrious career. So there's him. To name a couple others: Matt Carl, Brandon Dubinsky, a few other guys that had pretty good NHL careers. So no, I'm not the lone guy. That's for sure.
Oh,
Okay.
by the way, there's a big picture on here of Scott Gomez holding up a cup of some sort. So I
Crack
missed that one.
research team over here. Any hockey players? How about Scott Gomez? Yeah, we've heard of him.
Trajan Langdon's on here.
Great.
Trajan Langdon, yeah.
Nate Thompson.
He's the true Alaskan assassin.
Nate Thompson is our guest. All right, unsolicited advice for you for the Alaska Hall of Fame. Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
A story that hits to the heart of what it means to be from Alaska, and what that means to you and why that set you up for the success that you enjoyed. And then do the story first and then the thank yous. So make sure you got to set them up with the story, get the room all entranced, and then you can go to the thank yous, because you are going to sit through some epically boring speeches. And so you got to make sure yours stands out.
So are you comparing it to like best man maid of honor speeches?
Yes.
Like along those lines? Okay. All right.
Then
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
You're going to be great. We got to have like video of this or something.
Are you kidding
if you
me?
allow us to.
We got to go. It's in September, right? I mean,
it's a beautiful time of year in Alaska in September. So
is it?
I'm just saying. Yeah.
How cold is it?
Oh, at that time it's probably 50s, 60s.
Oh, yes. We gotta.
It's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
the
no.
best. And no bugs, crisp air,
Yeah. Well,
fall weather.
we're
Beautiful.
huge in Juneau. You know that.
Yeah.
You know
You
that.
can't walk down the street.
Hey, we'd be remiss if you didn't get. You have to give a shout out to Sully here, or he's gonna be whining.
I know Sully's watching. Hi, Sully. Good to see you, buddy. You are good. You are a good hockey analyst, because I know where you get your info from. You get it from this guy.
Yeah.
Secrets out of the bag.
Have you been getting the complaining text because someone spilled red wine on his white sweatshirt at the game the other night, the Knights game?
I heard about it. I heard about it.
And what is red wine at a hockey game, Nate? That's got to be against the rules.
Yeah, I haven't heard of too many people crushing red wine at a game in the stands. It seems like a tough drink to bring down the aisle, cheer, and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sure every liquid possible has been drank out of the Stanley Cup, and I'd still be shocked if red wine made it in there. Nate, thank you so much. Fantastic. Congrats again on the Hall of Fame. Obviously, an amazing career. Enjoy the game 3 tonight. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.